With such scant margin between the top teams in the NCAA tournament this season, the pool of teams that can win a national championship is unusually large. Oddsmakers in Las Vegas give 9 teams a better than 5% chance of cutting down the nets in San Antonio in 3 weeks. Over the past 2 weeks, Yahoo Sports spoke to assistant coaches from the nation's best leagues to get a better idea of how some of the leading title contenders in this year's field can be beaten and by whom. The coaches were granted anonymity in exchange for their honesty. Virginia, 31-2, seed, no. 1. South Region top player, Devin Hall, 12.0 ppg, 4.3 rpg, 3.2 apg, strengths, a balanced, deceptively efficient defense and the nation's most formidable defense. Weaknesses, they can be susceptible to giving up too many second chance points. Do they score easily enough to win a title? ACC assistant coach on Virginia, I had so much respect for London Parantis. When he graduated, I thought they would take a drop-off. Some of those young guards like Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome looked young at times last year, but those guys have really matured. Devin Hall has had an all-ACC season and then, DeAndre Hunter gives them that extra dimension as a front-court scorer. The key to their defense is their front-court guys. Their bigs hedge on ball screens and they are always in position to help. They kind of pride themselves on that. They had better perimeter defenders a couple years ago when they had Malcolm Brogdon and Parantis. On this year's team, Devin Hall is pretty good, but the other two guys? I remember Syracuse beating them at the Dome last year and their whole offense was whoever Kyle Guy or Ty Jerome were guarding, take them one-on-one. Those guys have improved, but I don't think the bigs get enough credit for how much they do. The one thing you always worry about with them is how slow they play. It gives people a shot if they get hot. It does make your margin for error smaller, which can be tricky in the NCAA tournament when one bad night ends your season. They score it a little better this year than they have in the past depending on what lineup is in the game. With their starting front line in the game, those guys are really good defensively, but they struggle to score. When they have Hunter in the game, he can get a bucket on the front line. I also think Diakite is giving them a little more scoring than those other two guys when he's in there too. Villanova, 30-4, seed, no. 1. East Region top player, Jalen Brunson, 19.4 ppg, 4.7 apg, 41.33%, strengths, an ultra-efficient defense fueled by Brunson's creativity off the dribble and an array of capable three-point shooters. Weaknesses, some opponents have been able to beat them up on the boards and exploit their lack of a rim protection on defense. Big East assistant coach on Villanova, everything they do starts with Brunson. He's so poised, so heady. He makes the right play every time down the floor, he never gets rattled. He's got an unbelievable poise to him. Thing with Brunson that I don't think people realize is he's a lot bigger and more athletic than he looks on TV. When you see him in person, he's thick, he's strong. He's got a great first step. He doesn't have blazing speed, but he gets by guys because he can lull you to sleep and then, boom, that first step he's gone. Around Brunson, they have unbelievable shooting. Mikal Bridges is shooting at such a high level this year, which he really hadn't done in the past. He's an elite shooter now. Dante DiVincenzo is maybe one of the most underrated guys in the country. I think he's a terrific player. Obviously he can shoot, but he's really athletic. He has really good size, he can drive the ball and he makes plays at the rim. We really tried to make them take jump shots off the dribble. We told our guys to switch ball screens, keep our man in front and don't put ourselves into rotation. Where they get you is when they are able to get in the teeth of your defense and force you to devote 2 players to one guy. They are going to make the right play 9 times out of 10. You can drive the ball against them after movement. They're good on the first ball screen, but if you can get them in rotation, you can really drive Omari Spellman and Eric Paschal and put pressure on the defense. And then in the middle, they don't have a Daniel Ochefu, a guy who can just protect the rim all the time. Kansas, 27-7, seed, no. 1. Midwest Region top player, Devontae Graham, 17.3 ppg, 7.5 rpg, 41.23%, strengths, shooters galore, and one of the country's great playmakers putting pressure on the defense. Weaknesses, front court,